Welcome to Golis, the jewel of North Leipzig. In this quiet residential neighborhood, not only we can find stunning houses, but also Budde-Haus, a well-known cultural center in Leipzig. Here, Flor is carrying out their volunteering project. Let's get to know them.
Hi Flor, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
So, who am I with today?
So, my name is Flor. I am 26 years old. I am from Portugal and I'm a volunteer here at Budde-Haus. I've been here since May. Since May last year.
You will be doing this project, or you have been here since May and you will be leaving in May too, right?
In the end of April, beginning of May. So I did a full year volunteering. And here we work with a very small team, so I'm working with 2 other people in my office alongside a practicant at the moment, so it's a shorter term position, and then my 2 higher ups, so my boss Jürgen and Dorte, and together we make this team that kind of like manages what goes on in Budde-Haus. I do all kinds of things here as a volunteer. From preparing for the events, creating posters, handling social media, answering reservation questions when people want to get tickets from us and so on, to, I don't know, posting our events on bulletin boards and journals, gathering the information, and then also managing projects that we have here. We have the Mosaic project, for example. That was my first big project that I'm going to show you a bit later.
Yeah, you have a lot of tasks. And it's,
it changes every day. Sometimes you're helping with events, sometimes you are just preparing things and it's very methodical. Sometimes you are running around trying to figure out how you're going to organize for a particular day in where the house is full. So it's really a very flexible environment where you can try a lot of different things. And the team here is really open to suggestions, so you get to really develop whatever you are interested in. I really appreciate that. And everything is always changing, you know, so every year it will be different and new projects will come. So I'm sure that if anyone is thinking of doing volunteering here, they will have a lot of things to get busy with and a lot of fun as well. Then I developed also my own project that I'm now waiting for the approval of. That is actually related to a little bit of everything that I was doing here. So in the Mosaic project, I was also part of one of my tasks was also to gather all of the media and then create videos and do a photo book. And then I thought, okay, it'll be really nice to also collaborate with people and create digital storytelling. So I took the idea from there. Initially, I was talking with the people from BBV who we were collaborating with. And then I moved on to do this proposal to Erasmus. So it would be an Erasmus training course per se that people can join in.
Nice.
So yes, I'm still waiting for this approval.
And can we take a look of the house? While you also talk a little bit more about that or yourself?
Currently we have, besides the events and so on, we also have our event, like free time activities. A lot of them are, for example, gymnastics. So currently in our bigger room, we're having a gymnastic course.
Okay, oh wow.
Later today, we are also going to have Italian language course for children. And we have guitar courses, we have an accordion club, we have Tai Chi, we have all kinds of things. It's really a very variety, a lot of variety of things that you can do in Budde-Haus.
Nice. What did you do before this volunteer project, and what did you want to do this?
Well, I was actually doing a lot of things, so it makes sense that I come here. But directly before my volunteering here, I was actually already volunteering in a short-term volunteering in Magdeburg, also in Germany. And I was doing things related to non-formal education. So we were basically running youth exchange and training courses for, I think it was 2 months I was there. And then I came here. And before that, I was a teacher, a translator, an actor. I did really a lot of things, so this was a great place for me. I could just bring all of the things that I'm already doing into my work. So all these rooms connect to each other. And sometimes we have events that take over the 2 rooms, for example. This is the winter garden. This is more for storage or again to like extend the space available for the events. But I really like this. Like normally I'm here cleaning the rooms in the morning and dancing throughout these big halls while I'm like sweeping the floor. And I really like this winter garden. It gives you this perspective into the whole garden. I feel like Budde-Haus is really a place where you can feel the seasons change. Like I came here in May, it was still cold, but everything was blooming and everything was really pretty. And then during the summer, there was a lot of sun, there was a lot of light, a lot of activity. We had our summer festivals, and we have fairs. Like during the Christmas, we had the markets here and everything. So, and you can really feel the whole aspect of nature taking over this place. Like during the winter it's covered in snow, and then during the summer you have all the flowers outside. So I feel like it's a really beautiful place to be in and to experience things. Weekly meetings here, like the team meetings, where we discuss how the team is gonna go, and how the week's gonna go, and how the tasks are arranged, and what should do what, and what projects we need to still discuss. And I really like it because there's so much natural light, and sometimes you can also just go outside. I will show you because it's a really nice view. Maybe not now during the winter, but
wow.
From here you can see whatever is happening up front. During the summer, of course, our beer garden is working during the weekends and during some of the week. So you get to see all of that happen and people gathering. Otherwise, yeah, I mean, there's not so much going on now, more during the weekends. But it's a really beautiful place. And you can see the name of the house. It's called Villa Hilda. That's after the wife of one of the people that bought and then built this house in here. There used to be another one. And it still maintains the name, even though we are now calling it Heinrich Budde-Haus. And yeah. Don't guarantee that the wishes come true. It's just for the hope. So this is one of the biggest reasons why people come to our land here in Budde-Haus. We have Tauschschrank. It's basically people come here and they put their things in and they can take other things out. It's basically like a trading closet. Everything is free. And there's always a lot of peculiar items. I mean, you can really find anything from clothes to cassettes now. Like, this is new. I hadn't seen cassettes in a while. Cutlery, things for the house. For the volunteers, it's been quite nice because you come here with nothing and you can always get some random trinkets. So I recommend that people visit.
That's nice.
And
the other one?
A book, trading book closet as well. These I think are more common around at least Europe. I've seen many of them. But you get really like whole collections here that people come and drop by. Also a lot of language books. We have a lot of like encyclopedias and things from universities or children books. Normally we have this big closet, it's always full, and we take also some books outside. So people can just, when they're coming by, they can just pick up a book if they want. And it's really nice. People really like. Okay, so we have 3 mosaics now. This is the first one. It was done 3 years ago with a team, and they are done also with volunteers, but short. Team volunteers. They come for around 2 weeks and they are doing it.
Nice, it's so beautiful.
Always visit them. That was, I think the term for that was water. So the subject, there's a subject for all of them. So water. The next one was done last year. It's the earth. And there's actually a very funny story. So there was a fox in Budde-Haus. I only heard about it. It's like a myth. Jürgen, our so the boss or the chef, whenever we would have these events outside, there was a fox that would come in and kind of like just watch the events. So the fox made it into the mosaics of Budde-Haus. And then this, I mean, beautiful. It's my favorite. I'm a little bit biased because I did this with a group of volunteers, so I was already here. It was my first bigger project here in Budde-Haus. And again, also a team of volunteers, and also we collaborate with BBV. That is a place where they have people with disabilities and with other different abilities. And they came here and we did this together as a team, so it was really nice.
So like you said, Flor, it's possible to carry out your own personal project during European Solidarity Corps volunteer project. And how did you manage to organize yours?
But the way I started organizing was, first of all, I picked out things that I saw were like relevant to this space. So it's a social cultural space. It already has this relationship with the international scene through, for example, the things in the Mosaic project, or us as volunteers coming here, but also other events that are held here by Verbund or by other associations that come and rent out our rooms. So there was that aspect that was already common to Budde-Haus, and that was quite important because you should pick up a subject that is relevant to the place you are volunteering in. And then I thought that digital storytelling was very relevant because, first of all, digital skills at the moment are something that people need to develop, and they are quite useful, especially for youth and youth workers. So my project is particularly designed for youth workers. And it is also something that is directly related to inclusion. So for me that was quite important as well. We were working with BBV, and we also work with other associations that come here and that have this mission to include and to support people in their social life and in their capacity to live the most dignified way possible. So that was also something I took for me, and I designed the activities with that in mind. And then, I mean, of course, I had to read many guides on how to write a project. I reached out to other people that I had worked with, so other associations, because for Erasmus you need to have partners. And then I reached out to the people that I met here. I reached out to the people I worked with in BBV. I reached out to my team. I reached out to other volunteers. And then I kind of like put it all together, and it went quite well. So now I'm waiting for a response. Even if it doesn't get approved, I am really excited to have just been able to develop this material, because I am sure that if it doesn't get approved now, it will get approved in the future. It's really important that you take in mind the time it takes. So that's something that maybe you should discuss with the team when you are, okay, I want to do a project. How much time is it going to take you? Because it's part of your working time and you need to make sure that it doesn't overlap other tasks. And also, how much resources do you really need, and is that like feasible? So create a proposal is perhaps the first step, and then see how far that really takes you and go step by step.
What advices or tips do you have for future Budde-Haus volunteers?
Yes, so for future volunteers that decide to come here, well, I think first it's important that you understand how much we do here. So it can be, you need to be able to manage your time and know that you would need to be a bit flexible with your schedule. So sometimes I'm doing schedules where I'm working in the morning, sometimes in the afternoon, sometimes in the evening. So it's good that if you want to be a volunteer here, you have that in mind. It's also important to note that here as a volunteer, the entire team speaks German. So although some of them will understand a bit of English, you really need to consider that you will have to speak and work in German mostly. So writing emails in German, taking calls in German, having meetings in German. In the beginning that was a bit scary, but you can also do a language course. That's important that people are aware that when you come as a volunteer from the European Solidarity Corps, then you can also do a language course, you do your seminars, you work with the team as well. It's really important that you know that if you need something, you can go to the team, you can ask them for help, you can reach out to the people in Verbund, you should have a mentor assigned to you, you can also talk to them. So if anything ever gets too much, reach out, talk to people, share what you are concerned with, and yeah.
Thank you so much, Flor. It was really interesting. Thank you for showing us the house.
Of course.
And also your project you're working on, and
yeah, it was really nice to share my experience. And now I have to go and get back to work.
Okay, then I will leave you to it.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I wish you the best. And yes, let's see each other another time.
All right.
Bye.
Bye for now.